All right, we'll call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock.
Okay, let's start the roll call. Mr. Chair, Tom Caffrey.
Here.
Amy Pyle. Here. Gary Kalapoulis.
Here.
Helen Humphrey. Here. William Betford still not here. So we're going to continue. Baron.
Here.
Laura Murphy.
Here.
Timothy
Yes.
TK.
We have a quorum. We can continue.
All right, let's do the pledge.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Has everybody had a chance to approve the minutes or review the minutes from April? So this is from April, right? So, all right, we got a motion. Tim, second.
I'll second.
Amy, any discussion or questions, fixes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. All right, presentations. We have Tourism Improvement District. Tiffany Gallagher, come on up.
Mr. Chair, she's going to be online, but I don't think she's made it online yet.
Okay, we can come back to it, right?
Yeah. She just joined.
Excellent.
Okay. All right. Well, let me give a little brief introduction for her. She's Tiffany Gallagher from Civitas. She's a consultant, Civitas Advisors, and she represents that organization, and she's a consultant. So the tourism in Volusia County came to us several weeks ago to talk about the possibility of creating a tourism improvement district for Volusia County and in Daytona Beach. There is a tourism improvement district, Seminole County. Seminole County, entire county is a tourism improvement district. And it's revenue that's generated from, hotel rooms based on how many rooms that you have in your hotel. You have to create this plan on how you're going to spend the money once the fees are paid and if the money is collected. There's a plan that you must follow. But she's here today to just give us a brief understanding and direction on if there's something that the city of Daytona Beach and Volusia County would want to endeavor. And we wanted her to make a presentation before the advisory board.
Awesome. If it's free, it's for me.
Go ahead, Tiffany.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I just wanted to check with folks. Am I sharing my screen? Just want to make sure I know.
Currently, we see you. Hello.
I know, I see that. I don't have the option to share my screen. So if someone could, looks like I'm getting more tools here. Very good. Okay, just a moment while I toggle. Thank you. All right. How are we doing? Can we see it?
Yeah.
Great, good. Okay, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. My name is Tiffany Gallagher. I'm with Civitas Advisors. We are a legal consulting firm. We are based in California, but outside of California, we consult across the country and have done so with experience in, as mentioned, Seminole County, and also we worked with folks in Tampa to establish the Ybor Tourism Improvement District as well. We have several of our destinations in Florida interested in this model. It is a public-private partnership. It is an assessment structure, and it does create the ability for the private business and property owner to get together with others and put a plan together that would supplement their destination efforts so that they can provide more services to themselves for future benefit in terms of demand generation and visitation. So I'm just going to walk through a pretty short deck. I did that because I want to be respectful of your time. I know that I am not the only item on your agenda, but I am, of course, here to answer any questions you might have. So if you'll bear with me through a few slides, then we can go to Q&A. Destination funding, just as a foundational point for conversation, destinations are funded, and I think you all probably know this, primarily in the state of Florida through TOT, Transient Occupancy Tax. And that is levied on hotel room and short-term rental stays, passed on to the consumer, collected by the county, and the county then divvies it out based on legislative requirements. And so that goes to the Visitors Bureau. And so that is the primary source of funding. And that is common for most destinations across the country. And that lies in the public side. And so that is a tethered tax allocation, which is tied to a particular industry, and it is intended to benefit that industry. There are other ways to fund destination promotion across the country that have been used. There are other types of allocations, such as untethered taxes, like property taxes and sales taxes. There are increment financing districts, and so that's where an existing tax, not a new tax, an existing tax growth is used to fund a project or initiative. We have grants, so grants from our cities, states, counties, etc. And then we have assessments, and assessments being legally different than taxes in that they have a requirement of benefit back to the payer that must be measured in proportion to the amount they contribute. And that is a significant difference between taxes and assessments. We do also have private mechanisms for funding destination activities, such as memberships and partnerships, private grants, event revenues, contract services, and licensing or naming rights, such as selling kind of hats and t-shirts and brand materials, etc. A tourism improvement is a special benefit assessment district. It is similar to the concept of a business improvement district, if you're familiar. Business improvement districts are relatively common across the country. They have been in place and working since the 60s. All 50 states, including yours, have enabling laws that allow for these special assessment districts to be established, but they are generally for general property services, most commonly used for clean and safe services, or say sewer districts, lighting districts, things of that nature. And so if you're familiar with these types of districts, you know that just the property owners that are benefiting from the particular activity or project are those that are paying. So that concept evolved in 1990 when a group of hotel owners in California said, we would like to do that model, but we would like to just do it for one type of property. And so that formed the very first TBID, or Tourism Business Improvement District. It works fundamentally a little different in that in a traditional business improvement district, there is an assessment on the parcel that is paid out of the pocket of the parcel owner. And here you have a similar structure with the exception of the ability to pass that on to the consumer. And so the assessment is on the parcel, but the business and property owner put a fee on their receipt that pass on to the consumer in order to pay them for their liability for that assessment, if that makes sense. And so tourism properties pay the assessment. It is collected by, in your case, the city, and then would be managed, the activities would be managed by a professional entity that already performs the work of the benefiting plan. And so in your case, you have a destination marketing organization that is already in place and performs activities around destination type activities and improvements, and that is the Tourism Bureau. And so in most cases, the Tourism Bureau manages the district on behalf of the district owners. District owners have a role in a private board that oversees their specific plan and their assessment dollars. The city's role here is oversight and enforcement. And so enabling the business owners and property owners to do this via a local law, and then also oversight over that local law and those activities to be sure the activities are adhered to and that benefit structure is also adhered to. These districts are used for marketing, sales, sports, capital improvements. And so that can be destination activity / improvements. And that can range anywhere from signs and other types of maybe infrastructure that supports visitation, all the way to large facilities. And so Seminole County, when they formed their tourism improvement district in July of 2024, they formed for the purpose of constructing an indoor sports facility. And that is the primary reason they put their district in place. It can also be used for workforce programming and transportation. Those would be services supplemental to the businesses or property owners that pay into the assessment district. This is not a new concept. I mentioned that this evolved from the business improvement district. The concept of special benefit assessment districts for businesses and business services is not new. Started with ag marketing orders in the 30s. So really, was inspired by, say, the dairy industry in particular that has used this, where those businesses collectively assess themselves and have marketing programs for their industry. That then evolved to business improvement districts, where this is more commonly for downtown areas, where all of the parcels within a defined bound would self-assess themselves, form a nonprofit to manage that district, and perform activities like clean and safe services, etc. In 1990, this evolved to the concept of tourism bids, where it was just one classification of businesses that did that, and that was began with the concept of hotel-only districts. And so hotel owners, property owners getting together, self-assessing themselves and managing their own district and activities. By the way, this is kind of like a homeowners association for property owners. There is legal structure around it so that it is adhered to the benefit promised. That has evolved even more so. We have in California, we have restaurant districts, wine districts, we have short-term rental districts. We even have a cannabis district that is starting to form as well. So difference between taxes and assessment, I'd like to make sure we delineate the difference here. And so assessment is not a tax. The legal underpinnings are quite different in that there are legal requirements around assessments. Number one, they're not in place forever. They do not exist outside of a plan. There has to be a district plan, and that plan has to outline the activities and the timeline for those activities. Once that program of work is complete, the assessment would go away. And so it's important to, and that of course we know is very different from taxes and how that works and how they are legislated. They are payer managed and approved. And so those who pay the assessment have to approve of it by way of law. And that would be at the local level. So the procedures and the thresholds for approval would be established by your city, but they would have to be met in order for the assessment to be implemented. It is based on benefit to property. So again, there has to be a direct tie and benefit between the programming and the assessment and the property that pays it. Approved through a public notice and hearing process. And so once we have approvals by the property owners, and that is by way of petition, by the way, then the city would conduct a public hearing. Of course, that would have to be publicly noticed. And if you were successful through that process, then the city would pass an ordinance for the term of the district. The funding is stable and protected for the long term. So the inspiration around these districts is the stability. So because these assessments require benefit to the payer and they are tied to a plan and in place for a period of time, once they are passed, they are not subject to change, either legislative change or any elected official changes. That also applies to owner-operator changes. So the district is secure and in place for a period of time. That is very attractive to property and business owners, especially with the volatility in the state legislature around the TDT funding that is primarily funding the destination marketing organizations. So we have a proposal to your city to look at the feasibility of one of these districts in your city, and feasibility both from the legal perspective and also from the community perspective. If you were to put one of these districts in place, what would you need to see from it? How would it need to be structured, both from a legal perspective and from a political and support perspective? And if we were able to put a plan together and a timeline timeline for implementation. Ultimately, it would be up to you all, city in general, along with your stakeholders, to determine whether or not you carry it out. So the first step in this process would be to establish a steering committee, a group of key stakeholders that would put together a prospective plan for this district. It would outline supplemental program funding that could include promotional activities. It could also include capital improvements, destination development improvements, etc. And we would compile our findings with that steering committee into a proposed district plan for your review, and I would present that at the conclusion of the study. So that includes plan development. The phase includes development of the plan. This is also includes revenue projections, activities, and any other necessary components. Community and consensus building is another component of this study, which is bringing it out to the affected community. So that would be only those who would be involved in the assessment district, both from a payment perspective and, of course, from an approval perspective. So that would include city council and any other stakeholders that would need to have eyes on this. And so we would socialize a prospective district plan and receive feedback in effort to refine that district plan. And that presentation, once the district plan is put together and timeline of establishment, would be presented to any group that you all needed to see it in front of in order to further socialize it and identify whether or not this would be a program for you. Just as a foundation, following that proposed plan or scope of work, if you wanted to establish a district, there are a few steps that you would have to move through. The first would be to write a local law, which our firm would guide you through the best practices around that and work with the city on writing that local law. That would have to be passed at city council in order to give you the legal authority to do so. So it would be a home rule ordinance. It does not require state approval. It would just be passed at the city level. At least that is our high-level research look into it. We would need further clarification from your legal department, of course. And so we would work with the stakeholders in the city to define the parameters. This would be the rules around establishing a district, so not implementation of district. So first, procedural ordinance is establishing the rules to establish a district. And then if we're successful and we have the structure and rules to establish a district, we would then follow those rules to potentially implement a district. So just because we have the rules to establish the district doesn't mean we are successful in establishing the district. I mentioned in previous slides that a district plan for this prospective district would have to be refined and ultimately approved. We hope to actually check that box during our feasibility study. But if we're successful through that, then we would have to move through a petition drive. So petition drive would be seeking the signatures in support of that plan. And we would have to, best practice is to receive support and petitions in excess of 50% by units on the parcel. So if we're talking about hotels, for example, then hotels would have to sign in support in excess of 50% by total rooms aggregated across to your destination, and so within the city bounds of Daytona Beach. If we were successful in that, then we would then bring those petitions to the city. The city would review those. They would, of course, have to approve those petitions, and then we would move through procedures to establish the district in accordance with the local law that we passed previously. And again, there would be a specific term and plan and scope of work for this district and governance for the district as well, and that would be established by that local law for the period of time outlined. Few case studies, and then we can go right into Q&A. So I wanted to show you a couple of case studies that might resemble a potential structure in your area. So we know that you have a lot of short-term rentals. And so we wanted to show you a case where we have established these districts with short-term rentals. This is a much bigger area, Palm Springs, California. 3% of gross short-term room rental revenue is their assessment structure. So it's a percentage of the room's sales passed on to the consumer, but is only for hotels of 50 rooms or more, so not for every hotel because of the program in the district, and 1% of gross short-term room rental revenue of all vacation rentals for stays of less than 27 consecutive days. And so that exempts long-term rentals. This creates an annual budget of $28.5 million. It's significant. They were able to add 6,000 vacation rentals. And I'll remind the group that it does require signed petitions by the business owners in support of the district plan. And so I'm sure you have an understanding of how difficult that is. It is not easy to do, but they were successful in doing that. North Lake Tahoe, established in July of 2021, 6.1 million. This is a tourist destination, and this has a lot of benefiting different types of properties. So this is so this is not just lodging. This has retail, restaurants, and recreational businesses involved. And there's different tiered of assessments based on the benefit that they will receive from that program. So they have assessment zones within their district. District 1 assessing lodging within the basin at 2% and lodging outside of the basin at 1%. And so those that are on the outside of the demand center paying less, but still benefiting from the program. Then we have retail, restaurants, and recreation businesses with different assessment models based on the income of those businesses. And so tier 1 businesses of $150,000 or more in annual gross revenue would pay 1% of their revenue. Tier 2 and tier 3, as you can see on the screen. We now have 224 of these districts across the country. There are 2 in Florida, as I mentioned, and we have them in 26 states. We have really small districts. We actually have 1 district which is assessing 1 hotel, raising its own funds for its own programming. And we have the largest revenue generation destination district in the country is San Diego, raising $47 million every year. 26 states have these districts. The blue states are those that have districts. The orange states are those that are forming districts or passing enabling laws to be able to do so. Seminole County has a district, as mentioned, established in officially in March of 2025. Their assessment is $1.75 per available room unit, and it is only on hotels of 40 rooms or more. That's not on the screen, but it's important to note. So it is not on short-term rentals in Seminole County. First ever countywide TID in Florida. It was established primarily to construct an indoor sports facility. This indoor sports facility will also house high school graduations, and it will also serve as storm shelter. We did receive petitions in support, of course, for formation of that district. Tampa, Florida, a much smaller district, so it's not citywide. It's actually just the Ybor district. So it's actually a very small district, we'll say a handful of blocks, and there's only, I think, 10 or 12 hotels in this district, raising $7.8 million every year. Their hotel association manages this district in partnership with the destination marketing organization there. It is not for capital improvements. It is solely for supporting programs such as visitor profile research programs, domestic international marketing programs, use revenues to finance trolleys for transportation, and community health programs. And that concludes my deck. I'm going to stop sharing. And thank you for allowing me to present. I know I'm seeing like 3 of me. Okay.
Thank you so much for that. And we've got a board here that probably has a bunch of questions. So,
all right.
Tim, do you want to start?
No, I don't have anything right now.
Anybody?
I jump with Tim. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot to think about. Thank you.
So maybe I'll start then. Okay. So Tom Caffrey, nice to meet you. Thank you so much for being here and doing this. One of the things you mentioned about the revenue is vacation rentals. So we have really 2 districts in Daytona Beach that allow vacation rentals. We have the T district, which is our tourism district. There's about 37 houses in that district that allow vacation rentals. Then we have the Main Street district, which is RDD 2 and 3 and up to 6. They have about 15 that's allowable. Outside of that, no vacation rentals are currently allowable in the city of Daytona Beach on the beachside. So that's very, very important on that study. What happens if a business decides to opt out? Are they just exempt from any of the advertising or any of the things that they do?
There is no opt-out. So how it's structured, and if we were to think about an assessment district that may be a little bit more traditional, say you were to put a water line in a neighborhood and the folks who live in the neighborhood all access that water line, they all are assessed, they all benefit, and they all must pay. And so the same applies here. It's just the program is not a water line. It is benefiting programs that benefit all those who pay in. And so the opportunity for the business and property owners to weigh in is through the plan development process and the petition drive. And so the petition drive seeks for that threshold of approval, as does most assessment districts. And so if we are successful in exceeding the threshold required by the local law and the city council approves of that district, it is compulsory for the period of time it is in place. And so again, not in place forever. And so typically 5 to 10 years at the outset. It just depends on the program of work. And after that, the business and property owners get to weigh in again. They get to say whether or not they want to continue it, or if they don't, you just let it go and the assessment goes away and no other action is needed.
Thank you. And so you mentioned, I think it was a gymnasium or a sports center or something. So,
Yeah.
so these every one of these districts are targeted. So if
Correct.
we have a design and an idea for that area, that's what this money is going to only. It's not going to anything else. It's specifically targeted to that item.
That's right. That's right. And that is tied to the plan, tied to the ordinance, tied to the benefit. And I'll just note also in Seminole County, they have a life of 10 years on their district if they do not bond against the revenue stream. And so if they use that revenue to bond against for a capital improvement, then the assessment survives the life of the bonds.
Thank you. And then, so you mentioned stakeholders that end up forming this board and that it would potentially be run by the tourism board here. So the stakeholders found the situation, they activate it, they go out and they generate all of those things. What is their role after the district is founded? Does it just, are they gone? Do they go away, or does it just go to CVB?
No, they are required to have we'll call it a committee or a board, depends on how we structure the governance itself. So the nonprofit typically is appointed as the entity to manage the plan and programs. The oversight is twofold. One, the city has annual reporting and annual oversight opportunity. And two, there is a board of property owners that oversees the expenditures as well. So there's a check and balance. The details around that is negotiated in the plan development, and ultimately that petition and the signature of that petition is really what determines. And so, and I will just give you, I've been doing this work for roundly 10 years. I've formed most of the districts on the East Coast and done a lot of petition drives. And it is really difficult to get property owners to sign off on something that they don't approve of. So you'll find that they're very involved in that piece of it.
I think I got two more. And then, so the size of this district, are we going to be mirroring a CRA district, or is this going to get larger than the CRA district? What is the goal of this?
I have to tell you, I don't know the goal. At this point, my involvement has just been on education. We haven't had a whole lot of discussion around the actual activities. The destination marketing organization might have more insight for you on that, but it could be any of that. It could be a really, like Tampa, a really small, refined district, or like Seminole County-wide, and of course, in your case, it would be citywide. So it could be multi-jurisdictional. If you had partnership with other cities or towns, that's also a possibility. So the plan and the feasibility work is what we seek to determine what your program needs to be, what the stakeholders want to see, what the city needs to see, and what that structure looks like, and boundaries are part of that.
That's it. Actually, I don't have any more. Thank you so much.
Sure.
May I? Okay.
Absolutely.
Hi, my name's Amy Pyle. Nice to meet you.
As well.
So here's my questions. Have any of the bigger or smaller hotels in our area been shopped with this idea yet? And what's the feedback? I mean, have any of them been asked if they like this idea, or do they know about this idea, or maybe they brought this idea up?
So we've done educational sessions. I think this might be my fourth. And at different levels, we have had hotel involvement. It's a little chicken or the egg. If you were to, and I think you all know this, if you were to just call a hotel and say, hey, we're looking at this program and we're looking at an assessment of your property, what do you think? Most likely they're going to not want to do it. So what we do is a feasibility study that engages them and involves them and says, what is the need of your businesses? What is the gap you're looking to fill? How would the programs work to do that? And if there was an assessment, what would your threshold be for that? And so it's a very complicated process and answer. If you were just to ask, are you in support at this stage, it wouldn't be a fair ask, in my opinion. So we do a process beforehand. And at the end of the study is when everyone gets to say, yes, we think this is a good idea, or no, we don't.
Right. Well, that makes a lot of sense and leads to my next question, because, you kind of have to go to them and say, this is what you can get out of the program if we charge $1.75 a room or whatever it is.
Exactly.
So I would ask, what have things been discussed? I don't know that we're looking for an indoor sports arena. What kind of things are we looking at for Daytona Beach, the tourist area? Have there been discussions about that? And no. Okay, so we haven't gotten to that point yet.
Not with me.
All right, so that's, sure.
Come on up.
Lori Campbell Baker. I'm with the Daytona Beach Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. Hi, Tiffany.
Hi.
So Tiffany is the expert in this, and she's done a lot of great work. Our idea was to bring this to the table as a tool. So we are looking, for instance, at what about the Main Street area, the pier, the boardwalk, all the things that we have said over the years that we would like to do. Could this be the tool that gets it really kicked off in a big way? Every destination chooses what it is that they want to accomplish, and they work toward that. So it's within the city itself, the boards, to say, okay, this is the gap. To Tiffany's point, this is the gap. We haven't been able to get there. Maybe this is the tool that could get us there. The feasibility study would help, but what the geographical area is not yet defined, and what those goals are. I know Ann Ruby's ears probably perked up when we said trolleys, but trolleys and piers and all of that, even infrastructure and beautification, could that be a tool that you could use? And so Tiffany's company is the expert on this. Other destinations have used it to great success. So it just really depends on what the community would like to see.
Right. Well, on top of that, I mean, thank you. The CVB and the Halifax Area Advertising Authority and all these are, and even the Chamber of Commerce is the regional Chamber of Commerce. It doesn't just take care of Daytona Beach. It's a larger region. So I like the idea of having something that's focused, but my concern would be is if we only are doing this for the hotels in the, say we just target the CRA and that's where we want the money to go, and for the Main Street and the pier and our area here, or that area there, then what about the hotels all along the Daytona Beach shoreline? Would they be interested in it? It kind of has to be sold to them that improving the core area is going to improve everybody's experience. So, I'd kind of like to see, I like the idea of bringing some funds in to, jumpstart what we're trying to get going here, because things do cost a lot of money. But then my last question is, what do you see as the possible, a reasonable potential of assessment that we might see, once we kick it off and get it going, what are we going to see in a year coming into this area? Because it was from $10,000 to $47 million was kind of your range right now. Where do we fall in that range? That's my last question.
I do not know. We would have to take a look at to your point, would it be just hotels? Would it be hotels and retail? Would it be a hotel and restaurant? And what does that look like? That's part of that feasibility study process. So we would look at all of that and we would do revenue projections based on it to give you 47 million, obviously is not the number. The average is 2 million across the country, if that's helpful. Annually, of course. So, but it can range and is, of course, related to whether or not the property owners would support an assessment of a certain dollar amount. So the choices are there, and by the end of the study, we generally have a good recommendation and can present you with a proposal on that.
It all sounds pretty good to me. The only thing is I liked it to stay in, like I have the South Atlantic, we got the Main Street. We'll end up is like everything is should be sort of separate for different needs in different zones, or else we'll have one zone sort of neglected, like South Atlantic, where I am. It's been that way for the past 25 years.
And that, if you remember in the Lake Tahoe case study, they separated, so they have benefit zones and the assessment itself is different. And so that you can do that.
Do we have any other assessments in this area right now?
Is that for me? I don't know. Sorry.
I have, this is Tom again. I have another question. I wrote down here, thank you for your information. Who's paying for it? Is it the CVB paying for it? Is it the city paying for it to start the startup costs? Like, where is that money? Because there's got to be obviously seed money in order to compensate for time and things like that. Where is that money coming from?
I don't know that that's been determined. So it could be a cooperative effort. And so I'm not sure, but I can tell you that if a district is formed, we draft into all the documents that all the startup costs can be refunded to those who finance the startup. And then future budgets are built for allocations for reserves for future formations or renewals of these districts.
Yeah, I think the initial feasibility study is going to come in at maybe $22,000.
Yes.
So that's what it would take just to figure out if you, the city, want to do it. And you're absolutely right. We represent all of the Halifax area, but we also understand that the core area is pivotal in what we present to our visiting public. So we just thought we wanted to present it to the city as a potential tool for them.
And so this, you guys kind of initiated this conversation. Yes. Great. Okay.
Yes. Because we talked to a lot of different destination marketing organizations, and we see that they have had success, and we had FOMO.
Yeah, sure.
So we thought, why not us? If this could work.
What about FOMO on helping pay for the thing? Does CVB have the levity to help for the initial cost?
I know
Tiffany had mentioned that money gets refunded at the end and then it gets paid for back out of the thing. But I
will tell you that initially the CVB was going to do the feasibility study, but I was told that. Because we are very specific, the convention development tax is very specifically spent by law. I was told that legally I could not fund this. So that's why we're saying if you are interested, it is something that Tiffany can help you guide through it. If it's not something that's interesting to the city, we just think there might be some great potential here. but no, I'm not paying for it.
No.
Sorry.
Thank you
I'm
so
sorry.
much.
I feel
Appreciate it.
bad.
Gotta find
I
out.
was gonna.
No, sorry.
One second. My name is William Biddorf. I wanted to ask you, can it be funded by a charity or a non-for-profit or an individual that chose to help?
Will's gonna write a check.
Huh? Say again?
I
that
don't
legal?
think Tiffany cares who funds it. It's just the feasibility is what, 3 months, Tiffany?
Correct.
Yeah, 3 months of due diligence to see if this would in fact fly in the area. Whatever, think of it as a sort of geofencing. Whatever area you decide to target, would those businesses within that area be agreeable to this to an extent to where we could get a 50% plus vote?
I look at it as very proactive thinking, not reactive. And proactive is very, very important because it stops all the problems and damages that are happening to our city. It is complicated, but I would like to try to see if I could possibly help fund it. I might have some things coming through. But I don't know the legalities of it. Our attorney would have to figure that out. I don't know if it's possible. I'll have to maybe later on talk to the city manager.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to see, before we agreed to a feasibility study, obviously, I'd kind of like to see, I don't know who would be discussing this. I guess it might be during the feasibility study, but what we would use the money for specifically. And we talk, Main Street Pier, whatever. But I think to have some really specific and, good, promo on what we want to see out of it, you're going to get more buy-in from, so I don't know how, you kind of kick that off in the beginning, or do you start the feasibility study and then come up with those things, or do we have a couple discussions and present
The
ideas?
stakeholders really contribute to that. I think, the destination marketing organization as the professional in the space can provide the context for the most profitable activities that could be employed by a district like this. But it's really important that the private property owners and business owners contribute to that plan that will ultimately lead to their approval. If it's their plan, it will just move better, it'll be healthier, and the outcome will be healthier as well. So we generally, again, it's hard to do that work in advance of the feasibility.
Makes sense. Angela or Ken, is this something that you're wanting us to give an opinion on via vote, or is this just a presentation and then we move on?
It is just a presentation.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask you before I.
You just turned it off. You just turned it off. So.
Okay. My interest is in a very narrow slot. I own a business. It is very successful. Yeah.
We love it.
But I like the idea of a trolley bringing people. I probably would love to speak with you because I would love to see a way that a walkway or an area coming from the Peabody and that area saying entrance to boutiques, Main Street boutiques, and having something that's very attractive there. And also to have a way to tie into all the buses that come, cheerleaders, all of those huge groups, some way to encourage them to come over to where the boutiques, and I'm calling my place a boutique, it really isn't, but it's many things. So that would be my interest in getting the people that come, stay at the hotels, or come because they're participating in something at the Ocean Center, and making it attractive to come from that area into the Main Street area, which doesn't exist now. So that's how narrow my particular wish is.
Sure, and I think that most property owners have their own needs, individual needs. It's specific to them, but also maybe contributes to the broad. And so this is a program of work that is diverse and is required to benefit those who pay in. So if you have hotels in the district and you have folks like you, I'm not sure what your business is, but perhaps you would be in the district as well. And so if you're in the district, the program has to benefit you. And so you're an ideal candidate for a steering committee member, right? Because your ideas and suggestions would be important.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. I think that's all the questions that we have. Appreciate you taking the time out and having the presentation for us and putting it together. Thank you.
For your time. I appreciate it. Good to see you all.
You too.
Bye.
All right. Moving on to 5.2, National Folk Festival presentation.
Good things for the city. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kay Galloway. I'm also with the Daytona Beach Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. Connor Rand is here. Of course, you met Lori. And Brian and I will be going over sharing a new exciting opportunity that we're exploring for the community called the National Folk Festival. We're in the early stages of preparing a competitive bid to bring this to our host, to be the host city for 28, 29, and 30, so 3 years. But before we explain it, let's just show a short video because it will help visualize what this would impact to the community and why so many other cities are competing to bring it to their city. So if we can just play the video.
Imagine transforming your city into a vibrant celebration of music, dance, art, and food from across America that can bring audiences of over 100,000 and generate tens of millions in economic impact. See your city streets come alive with a signature art celebration that delivers urban renewal and revitalization. Share the richness of your local culture and expose your community to unique artistic and cultural expressions they've never experienced before. Become the National Folk Festival's next host city. For 3 years, the nation's longest-running traditional arts event, the National Folk Festival, can take root in the heart of your community's downtown. The National Folk Festival is a free, large-scale, 3-day outdoor event that celebrates the roots, richness, and variety of American culture and honors the artistic traditions of all Americans. It features over 300 of the nation's finest traditional musicians, dancers, and craftspeople on performance stages and in the streets and parks of your community. Take in children's activities and savory regional and international cuisine, plus dancing, storytelling, parades, and so much more. There's something for everyone. Produced in partnership with the host city, the National Folk Festival is an economic and cultural powerhouse that renews civic pride, strengthens community collaborations, and spurs new investments in infrastructure and public spaces. Residents, civic leaders, funders, and festival visitors will all be filled with a new sense of what's possible in your community after experiencing this powerful and transformative celebration. Share your vision with us for bringing America's premier celebration of traditional arts and culture to your community. Apply now to be the next host city for the National Folk Festival.
Hook us up now. That's wonderful.
Brian Bentley here, manager of corporate sponsorship and events at the Daytona Beach Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. So as you can see from the video, folks, this is one of the most respected cultural festivals in the country, going all the way back to 1934 and originally championed by the First Lady, Eleanor Roosevelt. The festival spends 3 years in the host community, helping showcase the people, the traditions, the music, the food, the culture, heritage that makes the community unique. After year 3, the community then owns the legacy event, which continues to grow for years to come. That's one of the reasons that we believe the opportunity could have a lasting impact here in Daytona Beach. The festival has been successfully hosted in communities such as Salisbury, Maryland, Greensboro, North Carolina, and Butte, Montana, generating significant economic impact and attracting well over 100,000 attendees over the 3-day period. So we like to say the National Folk Festival is a community development project disguised as an event. The event itself is only one weekend, But the real value comes from the partnerships, the community engagement, and the cultural connections that are built along the way. And that's why we're here this evening. So communities across the country have used the festival as a catalyst to advance projects, strengthen partnerships, and build momentum around improvements that make their cities stronger long after the event is over. This isn't something that happens to a community. It's something that is built by the community, and we need your involvement. So as you can see from the timeline, we are truly at the beginning of this process. Our letter of intent is due on July 1st, with the full proposal due on August 3rd. The finalist communities will be announced later this year. As part of our proposal, we're currently looking at the November timeline for the festival, which would provide the opportunity to showcase Daytona Beach during one of the most pleasant times of year. While the festival activities would likely be centered within the downtown historic Beach Street area, the benefits would extend throughout the entire community. Attendees will need hotel rooms, restaurants, entertainment, shopping, and other experiences during their visit. Areas like Main Street and the Beachside District would have a tremendous opportunity to benefit from the increased visitation as well as participating at the event. So we're here tonight because if Daytona Beach is going to be successful in this effort, it has to be a community-wide effort from the very beginning. So we're not asking for funding tonight. We're not asking for commitments tonight, but we're here to educate and bring awareness to this board, the businesses, and the residents. We want you to follow the process, to share your ideas, and help us build the strongest possible proposal. How can you do that? We've launched a dedicated webpage where anyone can learn more about the festival. You can review the information about the bid process. You can sign up to receive updates and give us direct feedback as we move forward. Please feel free to take the info cards that we have in front of you tonight. We also have a stack over here for the public. Look at the QR code, and that will take you directly to the site. As you learn more about the opportunity, we encourage you to stay engaged, share your ideas, and let the community leaders know what you think. Building a successful proposal will require support and participation from all corners of Daytona Beach. Now, we all know that Daytona Beach has hosted great events for decades, but the National Folk Festival is different because it gives us an opportunity to showcase the people, the cultures, the traditions, and the neighborhoods that make our community unique, not just to the visitors, but to the rest of Florida, to the US, and to the world. If we're fortunate enough to be selected, we want every part of Daytona Beach to be part of the journey from the very beginning. The beachside community, Main Street, your businesses, cultural organizations, neighborhoods, and residents all have a role to play in helping tell the rich story of Daytona Beach. Thank you, and we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much. That's a great presentation. I really look forward to this if it can get done. This is something I've been looking at now for, I don't know, a month or two, and it's pretty exciting, you know, looking at it. I know there's a pretty significant buy-in in a relatively short time, but I believe with an event like this, with the amount of involvement in community, I think that it's a wonderful event. And it's a shame that it's not going to be on the beach side, of course, but it is pretty cool. And if anybody has the opportunity to go and look at any of these videos or any of the other things that are out there, this is a really cool event. This is the kind of events that I believe Daytona used to have and needs to bring back again. So this is cool.
I will tell you a couple of things. From the CVB's perspective, the HOP board has committed $100,000 to the bid process. We need $500,000 to even submit. So we are working with a local contract to try to raise the rest of those funds. But the tourism community is the first one in. Put their name in the hat and the dollars to back it. So it's really important. If you don't understand why Beach Street was chosen, it has to be within a 15-minute walk, and there'll be 7 to 8 stages as well. A lot of activation. but Main Street is right there. You're an entry point for those visitors coming over. And we feel like all the businesses can participate at the event as well. That's what's really important. We were at Midtown last night and they had the same question, why not Midtown? We explained it, but they have things in that district that they can bring to the festival that will impact their businesses and bring those people into the neighborhood.
Well, I don't want to interrupt anybody. My name is William Bidorf. I wanted to ask you, Salisbury, Maryland, you did. When was the last event you put on there? What was it this?
I'm not with them. We're representing the CVB and we're bidding on the National Folk Festival.
Oh, you're
so
bidding.
they continue to do it every year. If you win the bid and you become the host city, you work with the National Cultural Tourism Association, CTA. They will come in and do the programming for the first 3 years. So they help you with it.
Okay, so that's not you that did it in Salisbury. Okay,
No.
I've been to that. I'm from that area. I just came. Well, I drive back and forth to DC. Actually, I'm working in DC now rather than in Daytona that much. And I just came through. Actually, I have a house. And since my family has houses in Salisbury and the development there, it was just interesting. It's a beautiful idea. I grew up going to events like yours. I think it would be beautiful for our whole community as a whole. I think it's a more positive, proactive, family-oriented event that I would like to see Daytona go in the direction of. So,
and it can become that
I
legacy
definitely
event.
Yeah.
Every year afterwards. That's what's really amazing about it.
Yeah.
Is that you'll then own it. And kind of the little inside joke, it doesn't require fuel or wheels.
Yeah, thanks, Will. Miss Humphreys?
I think that's a Brian line. That's not mine. I stole it from him. But it's elevating our cultural offerings. And I will say this too. With this council that we're working with, trying to bid on it, they only do one per state. So if we get it, we are the event for the state of Florida. Now, we have been on many calls with them to compete and trying to find out who else is competing on it.
I just want to ask one question. If you're coming in Daytona, we back you to come in here. We don't want to lose you to New Smyrna or somebody else, so don't be leaving us hanging.
No. This
Okay.
would be for you. But we know there's competition out there in the state of Florida also bidding on it. We've seen Savannah, Asheville, LA. They're all bidding on this. So the most important thing at this moment is that we need community buy-in, because if they do not see that all the districts and all the communities don't come together to want it, we're not going to win the process. So.
Miss Humphreys?
Well, I'm excited right now. I think it's an absolutely wonderful. Also, to tie, I believe that downtown is where it should be, basically the major part located. But right on Main Street, there is a park that isn't used now. But I can visualize boats, rowboats, whatever, tying from the park that's on Main Street, going over to downtown. People, I'm thinking of Mexico, some of those colorful way that they do it. It would be a great way to tie the two areas together. And I'm excited.
Anyone else?
When you mention, community buy-in and the culture of Daytona Beach, and that the culture of Daytona Beach can be injected into the festival, how does that happen? So when you say businesses and community groups in, like, say, Midtown or Beachside can bring their stuff to the festival, what does that entail? What does that mean?
So like at Midtown last night, we were talking to a lady that represents Bethune-Cookman College. There's a lot of Black history that can be tied in to bring to the festival.
Right.
Or we all love Bethune Grill. We need that flavor of food there at the event, because that's a part of the culture. But it can expand beyond Daytona Beach in the sense of Florida itself. And we have a lot of diversity within the state of Florida, from music to dance to food.
So I mean specifically, like, say Bethune Grill would have a tent at the festival? Okay, see, that's what I didn't understand.
All the food that's
all right,
there.
so all the dancers and things that we saw were from that community?
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
The Folk Festival Committee would actually help to interject and bring the talent on the main stages, but it doesn't mean that the Bethune-Cookman Choir could not be a part of it.
Okay.
You see, it'll be a part of
guess,
both.
yeah.
One of the neat things about this is that 3-year commitment is them training us as a community how to do the event. So it's teaching us all the ins and outs, and it's like we're becoming a franchise, so to speak, and then we continue that, either continue to do it well or it fades away. Hopefully we continue to do it well, but that's essentially what we're doing. And so they come in and they do it for those 3 years, and then we continue it after that, and hopefully it becomes a legacy project that we've done well with.
Yep, I like it.
So, in other words, we're going to start to proact to help everybody in our community to make money off these events. And this is a breath of fresh air for me. So I'm pretty excited.
It's happening. It's happening in one location in every state, or just one location in the United States?
No, so it's usually one, for this association, it's one city in one state. There can be other folk festivals. We know there's a Florida Folk Festival over in Suwannee. It's a small one, draws a couple thousand people. But with this national association, they will only do one per state because the scale of it.
Yeah.
They don't want to step on top of each other. So, yeah, so the last one I think was in Jackson, Mississippi. But all of them have gone on, some of them have created it for the state, like Butte, Montana it's the state. And even though they don't have a lot of hotel rooms, they have a lot of outdoor spaces. So it's a lot of camping and, the hotels are activated, but it's a lot of outdoor spaces for people to stay overnight.
I don't know if anybody would like to maybe put an appetite in for making a letter of recommendation to the commission, if that's something we're allowed to do, just a letter of recommendation to say, let's look at any way possible to try to drive this here. So if I'm allowed to make the motion, I'll make the motion.
Yeah,
All right, so I'd like to make that motion.
I second your motion.
Ms. Humphrey seconds. Any additional discussion? Do we have to have public comment on that as well now?
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
So the motion is to write a letter of recommendation. Are you also asking for funding from the CRA? So would we include that in our letter, or is that something that for discussion?
I think that becomes discussion.
Okay.
Commission level.
I think our process, Ken, has really guided us to first talk to all of the CRAs because we believe that their recommendations should come from the CRAs to the city commission. So we did Midtown, we're here tonight, we're doing downtown DDA tomorrow. And then next Wednesday, we will do the same presentation to the city commission. So I don't know how the letter works, but you can call and let them know that this is really important to this community. And if you feel that if money to be backing it to get us to that 500,000, that would be appreciated.
All right, so we have a motion and second. Any additional discussion or
Open it to the public.
Yeah, public comment. Mr. John Nichols. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
John Nicholson, 413 North Granbury Avenue. I promise not to say anything negative. About 25 years ago, Janet Kersey and the CVB created a Biketoberfest, and they promised it would not grow larger than 32,000 people. It grew much larger than 32. They're talking about 100,000 people over 3 days, so it's 30,000 a day. Chances are it would be much larger than that, all right? We have our inherent diversity, and people don't realize we have a big Greek community here. We have a Greek festival every year. We have a Hindi festival every year. We have the Iranians. We have the Koreans. Diversity itself. Music. Can't remember the name of the band, but they started Southern Rock here in town. All right. So when it was brought up originally, I thought it was a Grand Ole Opry. All right. And I said that would never fly in Daytona Beach to grab that many people. But once you see the film, it's not a Grand Ole Opry. It's very, very diverse. to me, it's almost like the old LSO, if some of you have been around a while. The LSO was very cultural.
Yeah,
People
it was
thought
fantastic.
it would never fly in Daytona Beach, but Tip and Davidson supported it. It was a great event for the city of Daytona Beach. This has the same possibility of being the same event. So I'm asking you, yes, definitely do the letter. Definitely give them money at whatever point it comes along. I'm not asking you, like Ken Strickland, to give the all $500,000, but give your fair share. It is something that I'm pushing for Beachside. They say, well, we need this, we need that. If you saw the shots, open space, open space, open space. The pavilion does not have open space. It is trees, trees, and more trees. So we have open space on the beach. We have a band shell. We have a boardwalk. We have hotels. We have restaurants. We've got everything that they need on the beach side, but they're looking at downtown. And if downtown is chosen, it still benefits us. So I'm asking you to do a support letter. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you, John.
definitely.
Thank you very much, brother.
Ann?
Ann Ruby, 138 South Noble Street. Speaking as a resident, I think this is a great idea. I have a question, because it seems like the application window is closing.
Yeah.
So what can the community do to show support? Like what's, we can put something, so that, I'd like that answered. I did have another point, which I have since forgotten. Oh, no, it's this one. If it's going to be held on the Esplanade, I would think that Hyatt Brown should be willing to pay for the application fee. Thank you.
You're bad. We love you, though.
No, that's true.
And I do agree with John. When I first heard about it, I was like, man, we got more vacant property on Beachside than anywhere in Daytona. So I think that we could definitely fit it there on Beachside, and that's what that street has been designed for the last 30 years. So thank you.
I will say, scan the QR code. There's a comment section, right? I want this event here. We are here to support you. This is the business. Like, tell us. That way we can compile all of those names. That's what we need.
Yes.
Hear from the residents and the businesses to say, I want it here. And if not, we also have a phone number just for John, because he doesn't use QR codes.
Any additional public comment on this? Can we move on? All right.
Yeah, and if you want to volunteer, we'll need those too. So
Okay.
any way you can help.
You got it.
Absolutely.
All right. Moving on to.
You need to take a vote.
Oh, geez, Louise, you're right. Thank you. All right. So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. All right. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll figure that out for sure. Definitely try to get it in the newsletter. That would be great, All right. Action item number 6.1, jump the gun. 600 East International Speedway mural.
Good evening. Angela Armstrong, project manager for the Beachside CRA. Before I start the presentation, I just want you to know that this item is just the approval of the wall graphic. There is no request for funding right now. The applicant may apply for the mural program, but right now you are just approving the wall graphic. And we may have the applicant via soon.
He's listening online.
Okay.
That's what he said.
Thank you.
Sorry.
So, Aiden Wright, applicant and property owner representative, is requesting the Redevelopment Board to approve the mural wall graphic located on the east wall of the building located at 600 East International Speedway. The board shall determine if the proposed wall graphic is an aesthetic enhancement of the building, and that the scale, design, intensity, and character are consistent with the design of the building and compatible with the surrounding area. And in your packet, I included the LDC section 6.10.J.13, which is the guides that we must follow to approve the wall graphic. Staff has reviewed it, and we understand that it meets all the criteria. So this is the artwork that they are proposing. And this is the old subway location for those of you don't know.
Yes.
And they are proposing a surface preparation and priming as needed will be done by the muralist. They propose medium will be a blend of aerosol and acrylic paints, protective UV sealant coating, and that will be applied. And they propose local relevance mural concept will embrace a tropical local Daytona Beach plus the speedway ambience, and will be hand painted by the artist on the flat wall surface as shown. And the project completion is estimated to be 7 to 10 days, and they want to do it with all the improvement that they're planning. That will be, the timeline is July.
That's beautiful.
And Aiden?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me. I appreciate your time and attention to this. A little background, Move Cannabis Dispensary. We have over 80 locations across Florida. And our recent initiative this year in 2026 has been really kind of refreshing the brand and bringing some life to it. We know it's still a medical-only state, and our primary responsibility is to the medical patients, obviously, but we just are looking to kind of fit into the local areas a little bit more and have some life on our buildings. So we'd love to get your guys' approval here. And I know, as she's mentioned, construction's underway now and targeting end of July, early August kind of completion over there, and going to see some significant changes to the exterior of that property here over the next 2 months.
Thank you very much. The design looks great. I know probably the reason why you're putting on the east wall is there's no other walls or windows. So that makes sense to me in that. So I don't really have any other questions.
Any questions?
I missed it. Is it still going to be a restaurant?
No.
Ah.
It's a cannabis dispensary.
Oh, okay. Another one.
Okay.
I think it looks nice, the design you're trying to do.
Yeah.
I think it looks nice. So
yeah.
Thank you.
No, not for this one.
I have one question for Angela, and I was going to ask this later anyway. The graphic is on the side of the wall that's right, it's kind of blocked right now with the Tiernanog, but is that coming down at some point soon?
Well, I don't have information. It is condemned.
Right.
So,
but that doesn't always
I don't know
mean...
where they are at the process right now.
Okay.
All murals are good murals in my book.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Amen. Amen. I love it. I like the picture very much.
We need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the mural.
All right. Tim seconds. Amy for.
What's the cost?
What's that?
The cost.
He's currently.
They're not.
He's not. This has nothing to do with cost currently. This is just approval of mural by the board. So there's
just
no
the wall
cost.
graphic, just the artwork.
I can answer if.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the current estimated cost of the project is between $13,000 and $14,000. And I know we've been working with Angela to get all the paperwork in order to apply for that, the fund to refund for the mural, working through the contractual side of it with the artist and building owners. So once we have that all together, we'll present it. But for now, not asking for cost, just approval.
Do you have an artist currently that you use for these things?
We do have an artist. We're not tied to him in any way, shape, or form. I mean, we're open to interpretation. If you guys have a recommendation or want at this time, I mean, we could definitely probably explore that.
Not at all.
We do have a local artist out of Chicago, as our corporate headquarters is based out of Chicago. It's nationwide, but we would love to get local artists involved if that's what you're.
So I know, there's several local muralists that do love doing this sort of thing. One just off the top of my head comes to mind is Hardcore Tattoo. They do murals, and then there's other people throughout the community. I don't think we need to get necessarily into the weeds on that tonight, but I think that it definitely would warrant some exploring locally on it. Just because there's a lot of people here that are talented and do this sort of thing locally.
That's nice.
Okay. Absolutely. I'll look for some local contacts, and if anyone has some to provide, I would take a look.
Thank you for that.
My name's William Bidorf. It's nice what you're doing. It looks good. I like the mural personally. It has the NASCAR theme on it, which fits good. We're on International Speedway right down in the corner. Looks like you're going to make it look pretty nice in there, hopefully. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you are, since you're spending all that money for that license, so you better. So
that's a goal.
I wish you luck with it. Actually, it's a. I always say if we're not growing, we're dying. So at least we're growing on East ISB now because of you. So thank you, young man.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We're happy to be here. So I know it's a medical only facility, but everyone's welcome to come stop by and check it out when it's complete. So we'd love to have everyone and
Thank
see
you.
where we can fit into the community.
So we have a motion and a second, and I don't believe there's any additional public comment. We don't have any forms or anything. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Motion passes. Unanimous. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Redevelopment grants, 7.1.
Okay, so now we're moving on to the redevelopment grant applications, and this is just information for you. We are not asking for you to vote on these items. So we have two redevelopment grant application. One is for 618 Main Street. The applicant is Luis Cassis, is the Bikers Pride business. The total project cost for the owning is $6,458.80, and the grant amount is $3,299.40. They are applying for the small project grant, which is for existing business, is 50% of the total project cost up to a maximum amount of $15,000. The second, and I have the before and after. This is before, and this is how it looks now. They're going to put the logo. They are in the permitting process right now. So it's going to be, it's a huge difference.
So, is that, you're saying it's already finished?
It is finished.
It's done and it's black?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just not crazy about the black.
So I talked to him a little bit about it. He wanted to have the clear material that he used to have, but they don't allow that any longer in the build process because they just don't put those up anymore. So he had to go with the canvas, and he opted for the black because the black for the biker logos that he has and Bikers Pride, that's what they enjoyed.
Yep. And he of course, he pulled the permit and it was allowed by zoning, so it's good. The second one is the 215, and I need to make a correction on your staff report. It says 214 and it's 215. 215 North Atlantic, and they are applying for the small project as well. The applicant is Richard Thiel, Baskin Robin. Total project cost $9,752. Is exterior signage, and they also added the painting. So the grant amount is for $6,188.20 because we add in the painting of the building. And this is the before and after for the signage, and then you can see the difference in the painting. They did a very good job. Any questions about the grant?
No, ma'am. Nope, all good.
Okay.
All right, and then we got another one.
Kid,
7-2.
I'm going to stay here.
Yeah.
This is also information for you. On the May 20th City Commission meeting, we had a presentation from Catherine Beck. She is the state Main Street program coordinator for the state. So she made a presentation because the city commission, some city commissions show interest in the Main Street program. So I included the information for you to have that. You know, we haven't decided anything. We are just exploring the options. And the city will not be the applicant on the Main Street program, as far as I know, unless something changes. But we are in fully support of the Main Street program because we understand it will be a good addition for the Main Street area. And if you have any questions, just let Becky know, not me. I'm kidding.
You mean Kathy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss Kathy, yes.
So I'm a huge proponent of this. Like, this is something that for the last 2, maybe 3 years, I've been pushing pretty hardcore in that district to try to get all the business owners on board on it. I believe in this program wholeheartedly. I've traveled the country going to these what's called PALMS conferences, which are the Preserve Our Main Street conferences. I'm going to be going to one in July, and that's in Cocoa. But this organization, if you look at downtown DeLand, downtown Sanford, Ormond Beach, other local places that are transferable to what we have, those places before they had a Main Street program in place were war zones. Even downtown Ormond Beach was a disaster 30 years ago, and that program just turned 30 years old. So we're nationally recognized. We're nationally accredited in Ormond Beach at that one. I think that Daytona has the ability to not only do just as good, but better than that because we have a better name recognition. So I think that this is a major, awesome thing for the city to be exploring and looking at. So this is great.
Any questions?
So I saw in the fact that it said we were a Main Street district and then we lapsed or whatever. When were we one?
Well, I don't know the exact date, but it was downtown.
It was yeah.
But it was, I mean, it must have been a long time ago.
Yes.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was the 90s.
Yeah. I was 10 years old when.
I was just trying to remember when it was. I just don't recall it. So, okay.
Okay.
So. Thank you.
The 7.3 is, again, just information for you to know how much revenue we are going to be receiving. This is just estimates. The CRA information starts on page 66 of your agenda packet, and Main Street info is on page 69, South Atlantic on page 70. I included all the CRAs, so you know we all know what's going on, but that is very good information to know. And just as a note, South Atlantic, we saw a huge increase in the tax base.
That's it.
Any question?
I think you're doing a great job. Thank you.
Are you going to mention the survey?
Yeah.
Oh, that's next. Okay.
That's my next item.
7.4.
Oh, is it? All right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, priority list. Gotcha.
Yes. I know that you are aware that we've been working with the commissioner for them to decide on the priority for all the CRAs. So we included that survey. We had most of the responses completed by the commissioners, and then we did a workshop. So after they rank in the survey their priorities, they did revision at the workshop, and we have 6 top priorities for the Beachside. Number 1 is the pier. 2nd, the boardwalk extension. Number 3rd is trash pickup. for A1A street lighting, street lights on Main Street, and 146, 148 South Grumman, which that property is the rental property that the city owned that is going to be for sale. And, I kind of include all the survey so you know which were their top priorities and which is not a priority. And if based on the list on the survey, it doesn't mean if that is not a priority, it doesn't mean that we're not going to work on it. It's just that, we are going to focus more on the priorities and not on the other stuff. Any question?
Nobody? Nope. Ms. Humphries?
How do we go about getting a walkway from where Peabody and the Ocean Center so that it's entrance to Main Street boutiques or whatever phrase? It just is sad that we don't have a way to encourage people to come from over there.
Or just, entrance to the world was Main Street. I mean, Main Street's famous all over the country. You know what I mean? It's just something that pleases everybody, like the bars. I mean, he has a wonderful brewery down there. She has a wonderful boutique, and everybody has their businesses there. I mean, something just directing them that way.
Well, I'm just putting the word boutique, but it could be famous pubs, boutiques, but a little more specific than just shops.
Yeah, I believe that we can incorporate that in our design, that we've been working on streetscape. And the reason, that's the primary reason we were deciding to have the side street connecting to Main Street. Make it walkable, make it inviting, so people can come from the Ocean Center, from the Peabody to Main Street. So
more than just a sidewalk, but yes,
exactly,
nice
definitely.
Flowers, pots with something that makes it look attractive.
Yes. Yeah, we had comments on the string lightings on those side streets as well. So we're working on it. We're working on that. Yeah.
Thank you.
But a great idea.
I think that's it.
Good.
All right, so no old business is listed unless somebody has that there.
I did have a question, actually.
We're, old business?
business.
Yeah.
Where are we at with the transformer wrapping?
Oh,
We-
forgot all about it.
We just received yesterday the PO, the purchase order. So we sent that, and they should start working very soon on that.
Very nice. Excellent.
Good question.
The city transformers or the FPL? Not FPL yet.
No, not yet.
There was one thing that's not directed that somebody mentioned about Tyrannogs. This morning I was there, and there was 2 guys coming out of the inside of it with a dog. So they've been coming out every morning. Yeah.
What is this?
Tyrannogs. He's had problems with people breaking in. There's 2 guys with a dog. Actually, I came out and talked to him because my church is right on the other side. But I came out and talked to them, asked them, what they're doing, and they said they live there.
Did you report it to anyone?
Not yet, sweetie. I work 80 hours a week. I just remembered I just got here right now. So when I was late here, I was settling on a piece of property, so that's why I was a little late. I report it, but nothing gets done anyways.
All right. So any more old business? All right, public comment.
We have one, Don.
All right. Mr. Come on down.
He's building suspense. Take your time.
John J. Nicholson.
While we're young.
John Nicholson, 413 North Grandview Avenue. If you notice on your podium or desks, one is a newspaper clipping. Bob Rand, he's the chairman of the Economic Board. They're pushing to be more active. There are several things I put a little star next to, but I'd like you to read that article. They're going to be more active, and he's pushing for Beachside. He says Beachside and downtown are two separate entities, and we've got to concentrate more on Beachside. So I think you ought to read that, because I think hopefully things will start moving a little bit more if they start pushing. Secondly, the Xerox copy has a series of bars and sports. I was wondering why Main Street doesn't do something like that. So when there's an event, football, playoffs, Fab Four, etc., each bar can pick a team. So all those who are backing the Knicks go to one bar. All those that are backing the Spurs go to another bar. People want to be with other people when there's a sporting event. New York is going crazy right now, all right? We have people from New York. We have people from the Spurs. Why not invite them to Main Street, all right? When we have, I don't know how long the basketball playoffs go. It's like 2 months or whatever. It's a long period of time. But if you can draw those people for 2 months, it's money in the till, all right? So that's why I gave you that list as a possibility of promoting the use of Main Street year-round. Several years ago, I had a calendar, and I gave out a calendar for 200 events every year. So that we're using people, we don't have to have 100,000 people or 500,000 people for an event. Civitas had 200 people at their event, and they were happy. Others at 2,000. Cinco de Mayo doesn't have to be on Beach Street. Cinco de Mayo is a drinking event. If you all don't realize, we have bars on Main Street. That is our forte. And if you have lemons, you make lemonade. We have bars, so we should have events around the bars. Because once they start showing up, foot traffic drives businesses. If people are looking for a business or where to put their business, if you have 10,000 people walking across the front of your sidewalk, they want to be there. All right? Jim Chisholm always thought that Main Street was busier than Beach Street. Main Street is dead. During the week, it's quiet. They go to 2 or 3 businesses, get a haircut, all right? But we need to bring them. There has to be a reason, all right? And you can make anything.
Okay, John.
Valentine's Day, etc. So I'm asking you to, the reason why the last thing is, brought these the last time, we talked about a brochure, okay? There were only 2 people at the last meeting, so you don't have all the brochures, but Midtown has a brochure, downtown has a brochure. Everybody's got a brochure except you guys. So I'm suggesting that you guys take a look at the brochures. There are different kinds and different designs. So if you look at it, see if you want it. I think you really should. Because as Helen says, that kiosk on the corner has sat unused for almost 20 years.
Yes.
So people don't know what's down Main Street. We need to get these into the hotels so people know what's down Main Street.
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
John, if you can make sure that the secretary receives copies of the materials that you passed out so she can put it with the meeting minutes. Thank you.
Thanks. Maybe a brochure feasibility study. Just kidding. Board comments. We'll start on the right side with you, Gary.
I'm good. Actually, I did have one other question. How long does it take to get the FPL for the routing? I didn't think about that. A long time? Really?
Yeah. Let's start with what we control.
Yeah. What's the majority of transformers? They're FPL, aren't they? Or the half and half?
Yeah, and we have AT&T as well.
Oh.
So I'm making sure that we get done all the ones that we own,
Yeah.
and then we'll start putting the others together.
it is exciting about the Main Street program. That's very nice. That would definitely be an asset to help promote Main Street. Folk Festival is very interesting too. So every applicant gives $500,000.
Only if they're chosen, but it's
only
seed
if they're
money.
chosen.
Yeah, it's seed money.
To help.
Yeah,
fund it.
so right.
I got you. Okay. Thank you.
So, a lot of talk lately about cleaning up the boardwalk. I mean, if anybody's on Facebook, you've seen it. But I'm not going to go into all of that, but I will mention something that a couple of meetings ago, and maybe she even brought it up at the last commission meeting, but Commissioner Paris has asked staff to kind of look at the possibility of having like lawn game type things down in, maybe I think she was talking about the volleyball area there or on the boardwalk, like picture a giant Connect Four or chess game with large things or cornhole.
Yeah.
So she's asked them to kind of look into like providing some, and supervise. So in other words, somebody would show up in the morning or at a certain time with a cart with all these things, set them up, and city staff would have to supervise, make sure things didn't get stolen or ruined or whatever, but have it there during peak times when kids could play and families, just kind of to activate the area. So what she asked for was kind of a pilot to try it out. I can't remember what day they were thinking about doing it. Tomorrow, okay.
It starts tomorrow, every Thursday.
Okay, but I think they were asking her, the last conversation I had with her was the funding was a question. Like they didn't know where the money was going to come from for it. So I don't know. Had you heard about that?
So I didn't hear about it until today. So I walked into the Environmental Learning Center, but she was explaining to me about what they're going to do tomorrow, and they're going to have little games. They're going to go from I think 1 to 3 or noon to 3, something like that, and it's going to go right out there at the splash pad, and they're going to be kid focused, and they're going to be out front there starting again tomorrow and every Thursday through the summertime.
An event has been added to the city's Facebook page. They're calling it Breaker Summer Park Play.
Okay. And is it scheduled regularly, or is this just the ones? Okay, so it's like every Thursday?
June 11th, 18th, 25th, July 2nd, 9th, 16th, 23rd, and 30th from 1 to 4.
Okay, so it's like a Thursday thing. Okay. And was there any issue about funding? No, okay, because I was just going to ask if everybody liked that idea, if we could contribute, but
Parks and Recs.
Okay.
They have staff there.
Well, anyway, I had a conversation. I'm not going to get the details right then, but I think she was concerned that they asked her where the money was going to come from. So I thought I'd bring it up, but it sounds like a great idea to kind of, bring some fun things to do down there. Has there been any movement on the parking lot PD on Grandview, the Kemp Street, between Kemp and Fifth? Has anything happened with that? No advancement on that? Okay. No. So it's been, I think, 2 years since we granted the PD. They've got 5 years to get going. So I just didn't know if you guys had seen anything come.
No, I
like all
haven't.
this, like, oh, we got to have parking and we got to do this. And they wanted to build a parking garage like it was going to save the world.
Oh, gosh.
And now it's just a grass lot where they're parking people when they feel like it. And I'm a little disappointed with what's going on over there. So I wanted to get the official story from the boss over here. Cruisin' Cafe, is that like kind of dead in the water, or what's happening with that? Where was the last? I might as well ask. I don't know. Is it gonna get like? Are we still kind of waiting for something?
No.
It's
The city
over.
We will not acquire Cruisin'
Okay.
Cafe. Unless commissioners say
Unless they
acquire
change
Cruisin'
it.
Cafe.
Okay, so the one of the issues was the parking for 777, and I just wonder if we've ever talked to them about potentially, leasing some of their spaces anyway, because they have a huge parking area there. And
at the Corbin
No, for
Oh, for
cruising,
the
cruising
cruising.
has that giant space that it really should be improved if they're using it for parking all the time. But is there any kind of a arrangement been proposed? Like, because what if we offer grant funding for improving the lot and then they
We're
offer,
working on
they give,
that.
yeah, okay.
We're working on
Okay.
So I will say with cruising, they ever
Maybe a little
since
more.
the contract expired and the city moved on, they have been working on their building.
I've noticed.
Every day of the week,
I noticed.
they're doing something. They are doing all the things that they're supposed to do. They're painting, they're fencing, they're fixing the parking lot. They're doing all of the right things. They're repairing inside stuff. So I mean, in my opinion, that's exactly the right thing.
That's a win.
They're getting after it. I'm very happy.
I agree. I just hadn't, and I was going to mention too, I did see a lot of work going on in the front and the windows are clean for once and so on. It looks really good. And then I already asked about the Tiernanog, so that's it for me. Thank you.
Yeah, I do call the police quite often when they break in, but the problem is I don't want it to be causing Randy all these problems. I probably called 70, 80 times. Nothing really gets done. But the police try. They got so much stuff to do. Actually, it was one of the ones you had the guy AJ. He was put a fence up around his property while he was down. I was one of the ones that helped him catch that guy that was trying to defraud him. There's a lot of different things. Tonight I didn't want to bring this up, but I know I have to because a lot of people don't understand. Just trying to ask a simple question deserves a simple answer. On July 9th, 2025, my charity was raided and I was arrested. It was null pros. It was thrown out because it was they threw out the search warrant. It was for doing bingo in my establishment, which I have a bingo license with the city, but the police didn't know that apparently until I went to court. I figured that out. So anyway, 3 days later on July 12th, when they charged me with my neighbor's fence, which is my friend, not upset with him, a little disappointed with the city, but it's okay. 3 years later,
Is this something that we can talk about up here?
It's his comment time. If it's relevant to the CRA, then
absolutely is. That's why we're not having development. So I'm going to finish. July 12, 2025, I provided surveys, photographs showing that the damaged fence was not on my property. It was my neighbor's responsibility. In short, month after month, I showed up. I was told it'd be handled. They were going to fine me, I think, $200 or $500 a day if I didn't fix that fence. But it wasn't my fence. Kind of a little perturbed. But approximately in April 2026, adjoining property was finally addressed. I had to force the issue. I was wondering if I was upset with the city with selective enforcement. The city's records state that 7/9/25, the raid, the Inspector Wexelberg cited 400 east the damaged chain link fence. Anyway, I'm not upset with my neighbor. We've tried. We deal with homeless, and we deal with all people damaging our building and doing things. The fence was, why did it take 10 months to address the responsible property owner? That's my question. Why was enforcement immediately for one property owner and delayed for another? There's another question. What policy justified that? What facts justify that? What legitimate reasons explains the difference in treatment? It's about more than a fence. This is about confidence in government. Sorry, I'm a little heated. I'm not meaning it in a negative way. It just has to be brought out. I know people are going to sigh. They don't understand that, but this is why this really hurts me. It's disgusting. It's another reason why citizens believe that rules are applied fairly and equally. It's about whether people feel comfortable investing their time, money, and energy in Daytona Beach. People often ask why some properties remain vacant, why redevelopment moves slowly, why some investors choose to go elsewhere. One reason is uncertainty. I know it's because I've owned this property on the Gateway for more than 25 years, more than 2 decades. I've watched businesses come and go, properties struggle, redevelopment plans stall, and investment opportunities disappear. In my opinion, one of the biggest obstacles in growth in Daytona Beach is the perception that government action is sometimes inconsistent, unpredictable, or unevenly applied. When property owners, investors see situations where the facts are known, the evidence is provided, and yet action is delayed for months, it creates uncertainty. Uncertainty discourages investment. Uncertainty discourages redevelopment, plain and simple. And uncertainty discourages the very people we need to attract if we want to improve our city, revitalize aging corridors, create jobs, and increase property values. That is what destroys or stymies growth. People are willing to invest when they believe they will be treated fairly. People hesitate when they are not confident the rules will be applied equally to everyone. I'm not asking for special treatment, but this just needs to change. I respectfully request that the city explain why this occurred, determine what went wrong, and whatever steps necessary to ensure that every property owner receives the same fair and timely enforcement in the future. I'm not trying to do this to be negative. It's just the truth has to come out just after a while. Hell, it's almost been a year. It's a little ridiculous. Thank you for your time. And here I can provide this to you up there. You can hand that to him.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, sweetheart.
All right, Laura.
Well, that's a tough act to follow. You're fine. I just was wondering what is going on with the Main Street project, streetscape project. I know that the merchants met, and I was wondering where we were.
You want me? Well, the last time that we met with Public Works, and we were going to direct the consultant. Public Works is in conversation with the consultant to scale down the design based on the meeting with the Main Street Merchants Association and residents. They only want string lighting, and that's exactly what we're going to do. In order for us to do the string lighting, we need to upgrade the utilities. In order for us to upgrade the utility, we need to dig the sidewalk. So since we're going to be doing all that work, staff believe that it's a good idea to just take advantage of that and do some little minor improvement that we believe is going to enhance the events on Main Street. Nothing major, because of all the conversations that was going on there. We haven't received the concept yet, so as soon as I know, I will let you all know.
In that meeting, Dave Waller, head of Public Works, said that the previous plan was about 5% complete in the design phase, or in the workup. So they have to do a mock-up, not just what the person creates, but it's 5%. So he said we're a ways out. And then with this going back to the drawing board on all of the comments, he says it's likely going to take quite a bit more time, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime, at least in my opinion, anytime soon. But it was a great meeting.
Has the city been talked to the state, because it is a state right away?
It is county.
It's county.
Is it county?
Yeah,
It is county. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And everything that we do, we need to have conversation with the county. And it's just concepts. We haven't. It's not permitting. It is not construction design. It's just concepts. We just seeking input from the community. We got that. So.
I want to say something positive, and this is not the time. I like your hairdo, so I want to keep a smile on your face. I think you look very good.
Nicely done.
Just a quick comment, because I was talking to David Waller about the construction on Main Street. And I said, because he stressed that we do need upgraded electrical services. I go, you can bore, right? they've been doing that up and down A1A, left and right. He goes, yeah, he goes, we need to check and see if we're going to run into anything but we could do that too. And then you don't have to tear up the sidewalks.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And it would be a lot cheaper.
Well, and David is the expert in this, but I firmly believe that if we're going to do something, we're going to do it right.
Yeah.
And with all the Main Street merchants, they're asking about wrapping the having holiday lightings and I don't know if you noticed, but last year, it was we connect the palm trees to the poles, and we could see the cable hanging, and that's not the impression that we want to have. So I'm pushing to do whatever it takes with the less disruptions to the business, like as we can. We're going to plan this. That's why we're getting the community together so we can hear what the concerns are. And most of them said that they don't want as much disruption on their business, and we totally understand that. So it's going to be beautiful. Yeah.
Boring.
Yeah.
So I hear that about Main Street, but on what Helen was saying with the side streets connecting to the Ocean Center, I really liked that part of the plan. Is that still part of the plan?
Yes.
Yeah, and also we
didn't
talked
say
about
anything.
additional streets as well.
Nice.
So in that meeting, we talked about Coates, we talked about other streets that are there to try to, because Coates is like the most traveled thoroughfare over there from the Ocean Center. So I mentioned why not have lights all the way down Coates to the streamline. Like I don't understand why it wouldn't be. There's only, I think, 3 multifamilies on Coates there. So I think that would be very pretty to have that. But yeah, anyway.
Several walkways, however, to tie those areas together. Sure.
I love it. I also wanted to ask you, Tom, what are the next steps for being part of the Main Street USA for our Main Street, not downtown?
So the Main Street Merchants has hired an attorney to change our founding documents to a 501c3 instead of a not-for-profit business. We're going to go to a 501c3 to do that. We've set up a meeting June 16th. There's kind of, not an onboarding, but kind of these are the steps that you need to do in order to get there. I've about 90% filled out the application and gotten all the stuff done that's required of it. But we have to, the window just opened June 1st, and they have to be submitted, I think, by September. And there's also steps that need to be done. You need to have funds allocated. You need to have different things that have to be part of it. It's a pretty lengthy process, and you have to have stakeholders in the community. You can't just be one person saying, "Hey, let's do this." Yeah, so.
Well, I saw that you needed to be a part of a historic district. Is that?
No.
Okay, I thought I saw that. My last thing I wanted to mention was the beat cop that is now bicycling up and down the boardwalk, which I've seen my husband and I walk down there almost every night, and it's starting to look really like how we all envision it in our hearts. So it's been wonderful. My question is I thought we originally said it was going to go like kind of in a larger grid, not just up and down the boardwalk, but along Main Street and stuff like that. Is when I heard about it at the Neighborhood Watch meeting, it looks like it's just up and down the boardwalk right now. Is that going to expand, or what's going on?
Well, remember, the proposal that I had is different from what we have right now. If you remember, we proposed to have a security detail and the security that has downtown. So, and that will be a bigger area. Mm-hmm. So right now is the chief of police decided that it's good to have a bike unit. I'm not sure if it's going to be expanded, but it's only for the boardwalk right now. So I can find out if there are plans to expand that.
Yeah, that'd be great. I guess there's like 97 arrests or something in 2 weeks. Or
Whoa.
I mean, so like they're cleaning house.
I was on my morning walk this morning, and they got one out of the bathroom. So
Yeah.
it was, yeah.
It's working.
Yeah.
Well, we have a new police captain on the Beachside.
That's
in
true
the
too.
last month.
That's true.
And that's been
Wow.
very impactful on the area.
She was very popular on the mainland, and they miss her. She got promoted.
Couldn't happen
Yeah.
at a better time.
Kim Gernert.
All right, that's all. Thanks.
Yeah, we a few of us met with her and noticed a drastic change in the last month and a half. Just the policing around the Beachside is fantastic. So, kudos.
Yeah.
Done, but I have one, like
Go
a
ahead.
couple, just a couple more little things. One was ask about. Oh, I'm sorry. Cleaning of the the sidewalks around the boardwalk area and the shops there was brought up at the commission meeting, I think, and it was kind of directed that Public Works would have to do that, and because the CRA could not pay for that. Is that correct? Or
Well, yes. And the city manager said that the responsible department for cleaning, maintenance, regular maintenance is Public Works. So David Waller is the one in charge of that. And you are correct, CRA cannot use CRA funds for regular maintenance. That is considered general expenses.
All right, because I'm. This is what. This came out of AI. I don't know which AI, but it says, the question was, can CRA departments in the state of Florida spend money on cleaning of the area and installing new sidewalks? It says, yes. In Florida, community redevelopment agencies are generally authorized to spend CRA funds on both cleaning maintenance activities and sidewalk construction or replacement. That's not true?
Well, we will have to revise that AI information.
So you're just sure about that's not.
Because I can tell you the
why
statute if you want to have the statute here.
Okay.
So everybody is on the same page.
That's good. I mean, you got to answer people's questions, right? I was asked this, and I want to make sure I get it right.
They're there all the time anyway. I see Public Works.
Public Works.
I mean, they're there more than the police.
Okay. So are we happy
in
with
that area.
are we happy with how they're being cleaned?
They're
Okay.
pretty good.
All right. I thought that
Not
was
to say
still.
that they can't be pushed to polish their game a little bit more, but they're
Okay.
always
All
there.
right.
Right.
I see their trucks.
She's
and their
gonna
cars
share
all the
share the statute for the. What's the matter, Ken? Oh, I'm sorry.
Chapter 163, 370, 10, C.
Okay.
General government operating expenses unrelated to the planning of the community redevelopment plan.
Okay.
Any maintenance, we cannot do maintenance.
Even if it's directly affects the blighted appearance of the CRA? No, okay. And then the last thing was, I did send some pictures in, and the reason I did that, I know you mentioned that 146 and 148 South Grandview are slated to be sold, and I know I've brought this up before, and I feel like I asked fellow board members to maybe take a look at the property next to it, which is a vacant, it's a vacant lot that's been combined with the townhomes. That I've been, I just kind of push this button every now and then to ask that the lot itself needs to be separated from the townhome and sold separately for either a home or a professional office on Grandview and not left as it is. Because now, go back to the first ones, because this is actually, this is actually 34 South Grandview, which I also want to ask about, because that's a lot that the city owns right there.
Oh, God.
This is the lot next to the townhouse. All right, can you slow down just a little bit back there? One at a time. So this is what happens. The trash blows up onto the against the fence. And every month or few weeks, I don't know how often, the guys come in, they mow the lawn, and they'll pick up what's in the lawn that they don't want to mow around. But some of the stuff blows into the bushes, it stays there. The sand washes out onto the sidewalk, you can kind of see.
Yeah.
And so if that stays with the townhouse, and the townhouse becomes a rental property, what do you think that lot is going to look like? If we don't ask, or say if there's an RFP for that lot to be sold, I want to make sure that a wall is built. And even if a city offers a grant to the property owner before they build it, that a wall gets built there, because the two city lots are the only lots on that whole stretch of Grandview, those whole 2 blocks, that do not have a retaining wall. They were taken down when the buildings were demolished, and they were never replaced. And this is 34 South Grandview, which is up closer to Main Street. And the grass is kind of solid there, so it's not washing out. But you can see the ugly broken wall. And I would like to ask why that lot isn't also up for sale. That's a specific question maybe you could tell me about. I mean, you know what property I'm talking about.
Man, I can tell you every property that is.
I know you can, yeah. So is that one also slated for sale or for an RFP for a building or something?
We do have a person that is interested in that lot, but it's being conversation, so I don't know.
So it doesn't have a for sale sign, so it would mean people could come to the city and say, I want 34 South Grandview, and make an offer on it?
Well, there's a process because we need to do 30-day notice to tell the public that we are in that process. So,
why is he making a pained face? Did that hurt? You went like that. I thought maybe no. Okay. Well, that's good news.
But we are in that process.
Okay. So if you want it,
but let's talk about the one on Grandview.
Okay.
So
the other one,
the lot on Grandview, adjacent to you, it's an 8,000 square feet parcel itself.
90 by 50.
Yeah. So the zoning right now, with the duplex, you have to have a minimum of 5,000 square feet.
Why does it have?
So based on the zoning. Okay. So if you split the lot, the duplex will have the required amount of lot area.
Okay.
The lot itself, the vacant lot that you're splitting off, will not have the minimum amount of lot area according to the zoning. So what you're asking is the city to subdivide a parcel that will not be buildable at any given point.
Well, I disagree with that. I think it will be built. It could be buildable with a variance, a waiver, a PD. There's so many different ways to get something done. What about a tiny house? What about? I mean, my house is on a lot that size. My office building is on a lot that size.
Yeah, but
so
we're not going to create a nonconformity.
Exactly.
But when your house was built, the zoning was different.
Sadly,
you're not allowed to create a nonconformity. So that lot it was a separate lot at one point, and it was combined by the city. So you basically doomed that lot to never have a building on it when the city combined it, and there is no way around that.
Yeah.
To put a home there, it's always going to be vacant. Yeah. Okay, so what about somebody wanting to buy it for a parking area?
No.
No.
What about a park?
No.
Wow. Okay. Well, we need some creative thinking on that, guys, because I feel like if it's left as is, it's never going to be unblighted. That's my 2 cents on it, and I'm happy to hear that 34. If it's out of your hands, there's nothing you can do. It's not like I'm insulting you. I'm just like I'm a little disappointed at the way it looks right now. I would say it needs a retaining wall, even if it's sold with the townhouse. So if people here can just say, you agree with me or disagree with me or think it's stupid, I mean, we need to push for a wall to be built.
Here's one thing. It may be a safety issue anyway. People going up and down the sidewalk, you got the sand over there.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's it's blight.
So what I'm saying as a safety issue is how you need to go around to get the wall there. You know what I mean? Because the sand going out there, some kid could trip, somebody could fall and hurt themselves,
Yeah.
twist their ankle, and we could end up in a lawsuit. Plus, it also helps you fix your problem at the same time. That's where you get you cleaned up, and then we fix it, put a little wall there to fix the safety problem with the sand going over, and it makes it look a little nicer.
Well, I just think the retaining wall needs to be completed along that wall, and I would like this support on that.
I'd like a lot of things about it.
And not that we have to vote or anything, but if it comes up, I'm going to bring it up again.
Yeah.
If it comes up for sale,
Great ideas.
thank you.
I'm curious. So the city owns the property. If I own the property, am I not required to keep it to a certain standard?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
So why is the city not held to the same standard?
There's no code violations on the properties that we own.
There's no code
No.
So
no
allowing.
violations.
Yeah.
And what you saw today with the trash behind the fence, that's not real time. Today, there's no trash there.
Oh, okay. I have another question.
Hang on. The landscapers came and they removed what they needed to mow, but when I checked after they mowed, there were still bags floating in the bushes. I'll just say, they don't pick up trash, they do their mowing. So
Yeah, I
they're
was
not
there
complete.
today. I
Yeah.
was there. I went by a couple times today
Okay,
to make
so
sure.
that way, that
was-
grocery sack was still in the front.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Maybe my husband picked it up.
Yeah, I would say Ken stays on that.
I just have a question. At the corner of Harvey and Hollywood, I believe it is, there's a set of condominiums or rental properties, and almost every other week there's furniture, broken things. But 2 weeks there was a monster mirror, and it was cracked in the middle, and it stayed there. That seemed like such a danger for children. If they fell against that, it could cut a jugular vein. So that worries me, because as soon as it's cleaned up, there's another bunch of mattresses and desks. It's like they clean out apartments and toss it all out there. Just seems like the owner of the property should not just be able to toss it all out there. But I guess the law is they can, but not the mirror. That just worried me, because there's a lot of children that play around there. I mean, as long as I'm downloading. Years ago, it used to be that the police would ride by the store. They'd come in. It was really nice. It would be lovely, instead of having the police drive by, because they never looked left or right, I could be in there going, help, help. It just would be nice if we had police that just walked. They don't need a gun. People will assume they have a gun. But it's just the friendly aspect of just having the police walk by, come in the store, say hi, everything good. I'd love to get back to the good old days. Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
Thanks, Helen. I got a few things. I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. Ocean Avenue North has one trash can on the west side. There are no trash cans on the east side, on the boardwalk side on Ocean Avenue. I don't know if it's possible if we can get some trash cans over there, but I just, for lack of placement, there's literally, they just chuck everything right into that vacant lot. Maybe if we have a few trash cans right there, maybe they'll not do that, because there's only one on the west side next to the parking sign that's there. Another controversial thing, but I'm going to bring it up. So the successful downtowns that we look at, Sanford, DeLand, St. Augustine, they allow open container. And what I would like to see potentially would be Ocean Avenue, Atlantic, ISB, Seabreeze, and Main Street have open container. And the reason being is it's not really enforced currently most of the time, and everybody's walking around with it most of the time anyway. I would like to see it open up. I think it would be beneficial to the community. I think it would be a great thing, and it's successful in other places that have a lot of tourism and such. So I think that that's important, whether we talk about it more or not. One-way streets. I believe that this was brought up at the design meeting, and so I'm going to bring it up here. Hollywood, Earl Street, Wild Olive, and Seabreeze were all created to be one-way streets in a time in the 90s when we didn't want people traveling down those streets. We have gotten away from that significantly. I would like to potentially see that. I've talked with business owners on Seabreeze, and they would really like to see the street go back to two-way there.
Yes.
I think it would be phenomenal. Commissioner Strickland has set up on the dais before. Ever since it was turned into a one-way, it's just a one-way out of town, and it feels that way. I think it would slow that street down significantly. Having it a two-lane, it absolutely is one of the fastest streets on Beachside, and if you take and put both ways again on it, it will slow down. So from Halifax to the ocean, and the other one-ways that aren't, wide enough, we leave them. There's Noble, there's one small section of Hollywood that you can't do it, but the majority of Hollywood, the Earl Street one is ridiculous. It's a massively wide street, and you're trying to go to the auditorium or the Ocean Center, and you can't. It's a silly one way. I don't know why that one was even created. I would like the city to potentially look into that as far as doing it. I talked to Public Works about it, and Public Works also thought that was a pretty good idea at that design meeting. So I think that would be something that if we could do like a letter of recommendation to the city commission and say, hey, how about these one-way streets? Can we look into getting those back? Yes. I think so I'd like to make that motion if anybody has a levity and would like to accompany me in giving a letter to the city.
I'd like to.
Okay. I just want to add one thing, and that is back when they dug up Main Street to replace the pipes, that is when all of a sudden we had one-way streets. You couldn't get to Main Street. So why they never took it off to where people could drive to their house and, it just...
Well, and in that same meeting, other business owners on Main Street talked about how their parking lots are inaccessible.
Yes.
Froggy's was vehemently against turning that road into a one-way, because that's also been talked about right there. So there's definitely an appetite in the business community and residential community to bring those streets back to two-way streets, and I think that would be a huge recommendation by this committee.
I'd
advisory
second
board.
it if you put a letter.
I would second it in a heartbeat, because the reason is years ago I used to go to East Coast Gym. I think it was Frank Fischetti had it, and it just really just crushed that area. I'm feeling it right now what they did to East ISB with all those medians cutting everybody off.
Yes.
It's been destructive to small businesses, everything we've done lately in the past 25 years, rather than productive in that sense in the transportation. We're choking out Seabreeze, sadly, and I would second or just go along with my
ladies
young
first.
lady next to me.
Ladies first.
She's a lot prettier than me.
All right. So motion and a second. Do we do discussion up here first, or do we do public?
You need to have public first.
Okay. Any public discussion? Yeah.
36 Park Avenue, Seabreeze and Oak Ridge. How do you connect those with the bridge then? It doesn't feel practical to make that a two-way. If you make the bridge a two-way, you're going to be heading into oncoming traffic part of the way. So if you vote for that, you'd have to think through a system for making that connect.
You don't touch the bridges.
No.
You stop it at Halifax, and you Halifax, and you don't touch Oak Ridge either. Oak Ridge you leave alone, because it's not a business thoroughfare, and so you're not going to mess with that, and you have the bike lanes and all that. So you'd leave Oak Ridge alone. That's why I didn't mention Oak Ridge.
Okay. I don't know. I think that's a hard thing to sell, that on Seabreeze. I think Earl Street is a great idea, because there's absolutely no reason for it to be like it is.
In Hollywood.
John Nicholson, 413 North Grandview. I would ask you to ask for a study on the traffic patterns.
Yeah.
We did a study, supposedly, for parking in the area. It's our fourth study. We haven't yet to see the first one. So again, we need parking. The Ocean Center expanded. They didn't have the funding to put in the parking for the expansion. So the city said, oh, it's okay, you don't need the parking right now. Well, it's been 15 years and they haven't put in the parking yet. So they owe us parking. I don't know if any of you live in the area. When the Ocean Center and Peabody have an event, traffic stops. You can't get in, you can't get out. So we need a parking garage. I know the city manager's been working on it, but Hilton makes too much money on our lot to give it up.
Yes.
And Anderson makes too much money on their lot to give it up. So we're having a problem with the ability to get a parking garage on our property that we had planned on putting a parking garage 35 years ago. So again, I would ask that you use the term study and do both of them, because it's about time we looked at that holistically, because it needs to be looked at holistically. Thank you.
John, I agree with you, 150,000%, sir.
So, any additional public comment? Coming on, Drew.
My name is Drew Seamer. I'm 817A Main Street. I just want to agree with the get rid of the one-ways. As a business owner down there, I think that the one-ways really cut everything off.
Yeah.
It makes it really awkward, and we can't get to parking lots, and even the city parking lots are hard to get to, and you don't even know that they're there. So it would, I think, benefit everybody, not the business, only the businesses, but some of the city stuff as well.
Thank
you, sir. Thank you.
You got to fill out a comment sheet real quick. All right. All right. Any board comment?
Are you finished? State your motion again. Oh.
So the
no, not on that. Done.
yeah. So the motion is to remove the one-way streets on Beachside that are able to be removed, that have the correct width and breadth to do so. So those streets seem to be Seabreeze, most of Hollywood, Earl Street, and Wild Olive. So those are the direct streets, and I've driven through all of the areas, and there are a couple of other one ways, but there's no way to physically change those. You know, like Noble and other streets like that. They're just too narrow, and it end up being a safety hazard to do so. And then you go to some of the other streets, they have parking on the street. So if you go to those streets and you change it from a one-way, you're going to lose that parking. So all of these streets that have parking, it won't affect any parking. All you're doing is changing stripes and changing signs.
Yes. So your motion was to authorize the chair to do a letter of recommendation to the city commission to evaluate the following roads.
Correct.
We can't just vote to change it.
No. It wasn't for us to change it.
No, but that's the way you stated it. I was
Sorry.
like, okay, can we do that? It's like,
I'll get out some
so that's why I wanted to make sure.
I hope Public Works is watching this meeting.
Put it back the way it was. They were two-way.
One thing that needs to be added is why did it originally change to one way? Are the residents of that Seabreeze area against having that as a two-way?
This doesn't affect any of that over there because they're all blocked off.
Yes.
When they changed that, they blocked all those streets and turned them into cul-de-sacs and dead end roads. So it doesn't affect the north neighborhood at all.
Special events are all that.
Yeah,
they did.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, has nothing to do with that.
That's the only reason.
And destroyed a number of businesses up in the...
It was almost synonymous with the destruction of businesses on Seabreeze and Main Street.
It's done the same thing on East ISB.
Yeah,
pretty much. It's hurt us over there.
All right, so we have a motion and a second, and we've had discussion.
It was a French bakery that...
All those in favor?
So they could...
Aye. Opposed? All right, unanimous letter of recommendation. Great job, guys. Thank you. And then last things are fun things. Al Smith Productions is doing the Island Rum Fest this month. That will be on June 27th on Main Street. It's going to go from, I believe, 6 to midnight, and there's going to be the pirate parade and all kinds of fun stuff going on there. July 4th, it is a street closure. July 4th, the city of Daytona Beach is going to be doing their annual Veterans parade and ceremony at the band shell, then down Ocean Avenue over to Main Street. Recommend everybody coming out and having a good time. The event starts at 8 in the morning. The parade starts promptly at 10 in the morning. And then we talked about the design meeting, so I am all done.
Me too.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, and that's that.